Welcome back, fight fans of the Shadow Fight Podcast. How are you doing today? It is episode 103, and we're in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And it was a nice day today. What day is it today? Monday. It's Monday. Welcome. I'm going to try to get this audio podcast out today, being Monday, so somebody has, or everybody on the planet has something to listen to for the week. Today, I got to speak with Mr. Kyle, good news / bad news messenger. Bad news because that was his nickname, and good news because he had some good stuff to tell us about today. And of course, friend of the show, he's been on, I think, now 4 or 5 times. So I think between him and my other many-time visiting bald friend, Kieran, I think there might be 5 apiece. I'll have to check. That's 10 podcasts. That's like, you guys are responsible for 10% of these podcasts. That's a lot. Must be good content. Anyway, before we get there, you know what it is. I'll tell you what, guys. If you could do me a quick favor, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm trying to get some more eyeballs on this thing. I work hard at the Shadow Podcast here. Trying to make those videos, stupid videos, little clips I'm trying to do online. They get me nowhere, but they're a pain in the ass. I'm not going to lie to you. But I'll tell you what. I need more eyeballs, guys. If you could just do me a real quick favor, and it genuinely would help me, but if you can, like on all your social medias as well as anywhere else, make sure YouTube, all that good stuff. Make sure you share the podcast. Make sure you share it with a friend, family member, or foe. And again, because who knows, maybe a foe becomes family, or friend, and then family. Who knows? But it all starts with sharing the old Shadow Fight Podcast. And of course, in the words of my man B Kong, only the real ones subscribe. So make sure you subscribe to the Shadow Fight Podcast on everything, dude. We're now on like LinkedIn. By the way, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I just started that. It's too much, guys. TikTok, fucking bing bang, flong. I don't know. YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I can't keep track of all these things, guys. It takes a giant chunk of my day. Anyway, follow us. Help me out here, guys. And I'd be much appreciative. And, of course, as always, make sure you hit us with a 5 stars. We are a 5-star podcast. If you're listening to it on your streaming services like 10 stars, then we're a 10-star podcast. But either way, all the way to the right, light them all up, and you're helping me out. And I really do appreciate that. I really do promise. All right, guys, before we move on, talking to Kyle here, I did want to bring something up. So it's been a while since we've had an intro. The last podcast we had with Robin Finley, by the way, which was phenomenal. And even though I did ask a few times, hey, guys, I'm only asking questions, no messages. I got a new rule for the podcast. You talk politics, you get messages. That's just how it goes. And that's fine. It's okay. If anything, things don't change or get talked about or magnified if we don't talk about them, regardless if it's messages or not. So if you did send me a message and you know who you are, I really do greatly appreciate that. I'm not even kidding. Being genuine. But anyway, so since saying that, I haven't had an intro for a while. I went out to Trial by Fire out in Airdrie, and I got to work the corner for Kelly out of my gym here. Killer Kelly, who put her undefeated record on the line, as well as her opponent, Sonia Blade, I believe is her name. So someone's O had to go. Kelly lost that fight. It was a good, hard fight. Punching was the difference in that fight for sure. But hey, good hard tilt, whether you have all the losses or no losses, doesn't matter. Train hard and don't waste your training. Put it out there and let's see what happens. And if we win, hey, and if we lose, whatever. Go back to the drawing board, figure out what we did wrong. This is a part of life. This is a life process, this Muay Thai thing. At least that's how I see it. But anyway, hey, so we went out there, and I'll tell you what, I recently now, I don't coach as many fighters, especially now that I'm injured. So the reality is I go to Muay Thai fight cards to hang out and watch, give me, a little content for the podcast, or I'm commentating. And so this one I got to be in the corner and for Kelly. And then I also shout out to Yuki Yamanaka from Boss Thaiboxing as well, who we bring up on the podcast. I appreciate him, for the shirt, man. Thanks. I'm wearing my Victory Thai boxing shirt today from Mr. Messenger. Forgive me. I promise yours will be on a podcast. By the way, any gym shirts, anybody, gym owners, gear owners, Fairtex, I'm talking to you. Look at all that Fairtex gear. Hey, send me a shirt. I'll wear it on the podcast. But anyway, Yuki asked if I could be in the corner as well to help out his fighters. So I was thrilled. Like, all right, man, I'm going to do some corner work. I miss it. It's been a while. And let me tell you, being in the back, with the fighters and warming up and watching them warm up and feeling the energy and the conversation. Okay, stop warming up. They're watching. All that kind of silliness. And I really, really missed it. The other thing I really missed was when I see guys like Trevor and Nate Smandich, who I got to talk to a lot there, the guys from Dunamis, Deval, Quinn, Anthony Palumbo, I saw quite a bit of you, Han from Combat Fighting Channel, Jock and Jay leave with the best present of all time, buddy. I'm sorry I don't have it here today. I admit I did forget it, but I promise it'll be part of the hardware or the decorum around here. Anyway, I always just see these guys with fight cards, and we're all busy. Jason Davis as well. Hey, what's up? Okay, guys. Yeah, anyway, got to go. Well, when you're in the back for hours at a time, you get to sit down and have a chat. And I just missed it. I love talking to Nate and Trevor Smandich and all these guys I just mentioned, Lewis Coffrey. It reminded me why I love fight nights so much. I love being a fight fan, but dude, just the energy in the back was like, I was like, oh, dude, I really miss this. Like, I'm sure I said it a few times. Like, man, I forgot. Like, I miss this part and being in the back. And I admit when I'm commentating as well, I get those feelings as well. Like, kind of looking behind. Fuck, what are they doing back there? I want to know what's going on. I want to know who said what. I want to know who's hurt, who's warming up, who looks good, who looks bad, who looks, injured. Anyway, I had a phenomenal night. It was just such a good night. Cornering fighters, being in the back, talking to the coaches and stuff, and everybody I get to talk to, and I guess overall, what I had was a phenomenal sense of the community on that night. Just one of those nights, man. Everybody, everyone's in a good mood. Happy to say hi, talk fights, talk the podcast, talk goats, pets, whatever. Just, it really reminded me why I love the community, why I love doing the podcast, why I love Muay Thai. It was a great night. I had such a hard time getting to sleep that night. So I want to give a couple shout outs though, as far as May 25th there. So I want to give a shout out to Nate and Trevor. Like I said, I love those guys to death from Team Smandich. Yuki as well. Thanks, man. Grace and Zach. So Yuki, thank you for trusting me be the second corner. I do have a very loud voice, I promise. And let me tell you, it was a pleasure. So Grace, your fighter Grace fought Ocean. And we mentioned on the podcast, Ocean is no slouch. She's fought some phenomenal international opponents. And I think even one of them was like on 24 hours notice or something. Ocean has a lot of experience. She is no slouch. And Grace, who just turned 18, was her opponent and was able to stop Ocean. And it just, I'm not sure if it was to the body or an initial shot to the body, but just definitely a lot of like pressure, overwhelming pressure from Grace. And I admit that when she was hitting pads in the back, just with Yuki, they had beautiful pad flow. I really noticed that. But in my opinion, I just don't see a lot of female fighters around here cracking pads like her. I was like, holy shit, this is impressive. This is going to be a scrap. And it was. And shout out to Ocean, too. It was a scrap. And Ocean fought right until the end. So, Yuki, thank you. Pleasure being in the corner, man. And as well as Zach in the main event, fighting Damian Smith. And what a slobber knocker of a fight, man. From the top of Damian's knee down to his foot was just starting to look like an elephant leg because Zach kept kicking like the inside of his leg, the shin and a little bit of a tender part there. And Damian was just slugging left kicks into his arm. Big punches from these guys, too. I can't believe this fight went to a decision, man. These guys beat the shit out of each other. And I'll tell you what, not only did they beat the shit out of each other, but when I was upstairs, I thought Zach was going to puke. He's rolling around just in complete agony as they're putting ice really tight on his ankle, which he cracked into knees and shins over and over again. Damian's just laying on a table, a massage table, just covering his face, and everyone's coming up and talking to him, and he's just not having any of it. He's just, wallowing in pain also. And then I remember Damian quickly pulling the curtain to look and saw that Zach was in the exact same sort of agony he was. And so you could tell that made him feel a little better. But, dude, Yuki, you obviously being a phenomenal coach and a phenomenal guy, a phenomenal man, and your fighters were something else. And Damian as well. I know it's super tough. I've seen that guy finish some people and just fight to the end. But anyway, God, that was a hell of a scrap. Well, and that's what you guys don't see is when they go back to the change room, these guys absolutely hated their lives. They were beat up. That was some kind of fight. Congrats, boys. Both of you fellas there. So along with that, Grace and Zach, shout out to you. And Grace, right before I had to go upstairs, thanks for your support listening to the podcast. Deval and Quinn from Dunamis, like I said. Aaron as well, the ring announcer. Thank you for supporting the podcast, getting a shirt, all that good stuff, man. It's always good to see you and connect. Again, someone I've been seeing at a lot of fight cards, only recently started connecting. Thank you, shout out podcast and local Muay Thai. The Lumpayu crew who came behind Paulie. Paulie had a fight that night from Lumpayu, Calgary, from the South Gym. I run the North Gym. But Paulie had a tough fight, and Kelly was fighting, so we had the Lumpayu crew good and strong in the crowd there, so it was good to see everybody and support. That's such a benefit of having a large team is the support, right? So thank you guys for coming out. Like we said, Anthony Palumbo, super nice guy, hell of a fighter. I know they're going to Scotland this week. Anyway, going to go peck a fight. So, shout out to you, man. Good to always connect with you. And of course, Ocean, like we mentioned, thanks for dropping off tickets at the gym and for putting on a hell of a fight, man. You don't teach hard like that. And Vanessa and Louis Coffrey, of course, for putting on Trial by Fire and having us involved. I want to give a special, speaking of Bellegarde's Dragons, I have a special shout out for Mr. Mohammed Wasim. You, sir, stopped me at the fight card and went, hey, man, when you talked about the fight card and I fought, you forgot to mention my name. You said you'd give me a shout out. Thank you for stopping me. Shout out to you, sir. Mohammed Wasim from Team Bellegarde's Dragons had a hard fight, too, the one that you're talking about. That was at the Deerfoot Inn Casino. Lost a close decision in a close fight. I got to be honest with you, bro. I didn't get to see your fight here at Trial by Fire, but more importantly, I love that you, this is the way it's done. For me, you stopped me, you grabbed my attention, and you said you forgot my name, and you'll give me a shout out. And the other thing that you said, sir, was believe me, you're going to hear my name more. Just watch. You're going to be saying my name a lot more. All right, sir. Well, there's your shout out. You got my attention, so let's see. Other than that, guys, I want to give a shout out to Kelly, of course, putting on a hell of a scrap. And having her first loss on the record, good. If you went undefeated, I'd say that's bullshit anyway. So a loss is always good for you. More importantly, you fought hard. You left it all out there where you could, or as you could, and the decision didn't go our way. What can you do? You come back, you go back to the drawing board. No big deal. Just a fight. Paul had a hard fight, man. Yeah, he had a tough one, stuck into the end as long as he could. But, shout out to you, Paul. It's not easy getting in there. And fighting and sticking to it, man. You had a hard fight and you didn't give up, and most people do. That's unteachable, man. Yeah. Also, okay, guys. So yeah, Trial by Fire. Just want to give a quick shout out to everybody that was involved there. Lots of fun. If I had a night like that every night in the community, that'd be it. That would be my only thing. I'd just go to fight cards and have fun. Also want to give a shout out to the Arashido Martial Arts Provincial Tournament that happened on Saturday out in Blackfalds. So we had light kickboxing, continuous fighting, karate point fighting, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all running at the same time. Arashido Martial Arts only, and there was over 500 competitors. So, I mean, not each, but between the three. But that's a lot. I've never been to a tournament that big. So I want to give a congratulations to everybody that became a Arashido provincial champion over the weekend, and for those who just went and competed. Between all of Arashido, there's thousands of current students, and there's only 500 there. And I know it's not only, but, some of these divisions who have 3 people in them, but there's so many more out there that aren't there. You were the 3 that showed up for your division, and I'm proud of you just for stepping out there. One kid in particular, Ferdinand, I thought you easily won your fight. It doesn't matter. You didn't, but you were the best looking. Besides the first fight, you had the best Muay Thai all day. I'll take you losing your fight and having beautiful Muay Thai than you winning and looking terrible. So in my opinion, that's a win. Congratulations, Ferdinand. I think he's like 6. All right, guys. And of course, the shout out army. I want to thank everybody wearing these shirts, man. We're starting to go worldwide. Australia, Mexico, Cyprus, England. Just all. And listen, keep tagging me. I love it. Every time I see one, it makes me smile. It hits me in the feels. I got to be honest with you. I'm starting to run a little bit low, so make sure you order from the website. I will restock, but listen, I'm sure you noticed if you own a Shout Out Podcast shirt, I want a quality shirt first with a cool logo second, not a cool logo first and garbage shirt. So you know how it is. If you already own one, you know it's an unbelievable shirt. I'm very proud of them, so make sure you order one. You can order them off the website, or again, like I was just mentioning, these shirts aren't the cheapest. It's fine. I don't care. But the reality is if I need to order 300 in a row, I probably need to take out a mortgage. Anyway, rock those shirts, guys. I love it. A couple quick shout-outs, guys. I want to give a shout-out to Scotty, the ringmaster at the Muay Thai World Cup. He's also one of my best friends. I mean, listen, he's one of these guys, I've said it before, where you go anywhere and let's say I have a coupon and like, hey, who'd you get this coupon from? Oh, my buddy. What's his name? Scott. Oh, we know Scott. Like, yeah, no, of course you do. Hey, Scott will, hey, let's go and, we'll go have a beer somewhere. And, oh, hey, you. And like, how do you know this guy? Oh, I was in here yesterday. Like, that's Scott McPhail. My kid goes to the community garden, my cub, at his school, and someone's got to water that. Who's the neighborhood watering guy, caretaker? It's Scott McPhail. Who's the guy who comes and who digs still got a bum knee? Who's the guy that comes and digs a post hole on a Wednesday in the heat to help fix my fence on like 2 days' notice? That would be Scott McPhail. Scotty, love you to death, buddy. And I really thank you for all the help around my house, around the gym, around the community garden for my kid. You're a fucking stud, bud. I love you. Shout out to Robin Finley. As I was saying the last podcast, we had a couple of messages, and some of them I couldn't really navigate. I just didn't have. Come on in, Maury. It's all good. Just getting close to teaching time here, guys. Anyway, I didn't have an answer. Like I said, even with Kyle here, like I'm too thick. I'm too much of the martial artist than I am the politician as far as like Muay Thai and the scene goes. I just don't know enough behind commissions and sanctioning bodies and anyway. So he continues today to help answer some questions for me, and I really thank that man, taking the time out of his busy schedule. So shout out to you, Robin. The Cub. Shout out to my Cub. Lost his first tooth. He's pretty stoked. So he asked me to talk about it on the podcast. So there you go, fella. Congratulations. Hope the tooth fairy was good to you. Mrs. Shadow Podcast. Been a lot of events. It's the end of the school year. Tests, seminars, tournaments, fight cards, all that stuff. So she's holding down the fort. She works just as much as I do. So Mrs. Shadow Podcast, I love you to death. Thank you for holding down the fort. I appreciate it. And Mike Yaklik from Arachidal Martial Arts up in Edmonton. He had some words for me, and not in a bad way. He had some nice things to say, and I really took them to heart, and I really do appreciate those words, man. I can't take compliments for the shit, but just please know I heard them, I received them, I accepted them. They made me feel good, and coming from a guy like you, that means something. So I appreciate that, Mr. Yaklik. All right, fighty friends. Kieran Kettle, as always, Mr. Kyle Messenger, Jock and Jay Lee, the only man to buy me a present for the podcast, which is the Bloodsport thing. So he's another one on my new best friend list. Iron Mike, Eric Thankachin, I see those shirts, as well as Misaki Bomb, Olivia M, Steve the Dragon Claggett, boxer in Calgary. If you know anything about boxing, just go. If you don't know already, go see who he's fighting next. I'm really hoping to get him on the podcast. My man B Kong, B Kong, Andrew S, and Dwayne W. Thanks, guys. If we've been talking fights, I just want to give you a quick shout out because fights is my favorite. Okay, guys. Other than that, it's time. Let's have a nice little conversation with my man Kyle Messenger. I've commentated him. He's commentated beside me. And now he's done it all. Teacher, instructor, coach, fighter, commentator, and now moving into role of gym owner. So Kyle, never really talked to Kyle much until we started sort of doing the fight thing and working together. And Kyle's a good man, and I can tell you that even if I didn't have too much of an agenda today, I wanted to talk about his new gym. But the reality is, when you just have someone like that who you click really well with, you can just go, let's just sit down and push play, and we'll see what happens. So anyway, Victory Thaiboxing and Fitness. Check out my new shirt from Mr. Messenger. Check out them as well. They have a friggin' app, so check that out. Victory Thaiboxing and Fitness. Other than that, guys, let's get after it. My man, Kyle Messenger. Let's go. Welcome back, fight friends, to the Shout Out Fight Podcast. I think this is episode 103 with my man Bad News bringing some good news. Mr. Kyle Messenger, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. Nice to be back.
I'm not going to lie, I totally thought about, like, how am I going to do the bad news, good news thing? I was thinking about that for a bit.
I mean, we haven't been bad news for a minute, but,
Lots of good news today, though, hey?
Lots of good news today.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, I appreciate that taking out the time to do this. We've been hitting a couple events. Airdrie Trial by Fire, we were out there, and obviously I want to talk about some stuff that we've got to do sitting beside each other watching some fights. But, yeah, man. Summer, we're right before summer here. And now most of us, like me, I'm going to go to Kelowna, and I'm excited, and I'm going to take it easy and, some stuff. How about you, sir? What do you got going on for the summer?
Right now, I'm got a lot of construction on the go. I'm opening my own gym.
Congrats.
Thank you. We're looking to be open for in July. So it's going really quick. Our floor mats actually arrived today. So
nice.
Yeah. So we're just hopefully going to get that stuff laid in the next week here or so. And, just full bore until
good, man.
until we get up and running, and then just slave away at that, for the summer. So it's going to be it's going to be a staycation type of summer, I think.
Yeah.
But hey, this is a lifelong dream come true. So
nice,
I'm
man.
super excited to be opening.
What's it called?
Victory Thaiboxing, guys. So Victory
buddy.
Thaiboxing.
Yeah, buddy.
We're down in the deep southeast of Calgary. We're about 2 minutes from the city border in the south. So we're in a community called Wolf Willow. It's a brand new community.
Nice.
It's only about a quarter of the way finished.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Brand new.
Right along the river. If you've ever played golf at the Blue Devil Golf Course, we're basically right across the street from Blue Devil.
Okay.
We're right on Fish Creek Park.
Dang, nice, man.
The river is like a stone throw from us. Like
really?
It's a gorgeous location.
Bring your running shoes.
Yeah. Anyone that's going to train with us, and we have some awesome trails in the area.
Yeah.
But we got like Chaparral, Walden, Legacy, Wolf Willow. Those are like kind of right our home base communities.
Yeah,
and
nice.
we're not far from places like Cranston or Sundance as well.
Perfect. Okay. So Cranston, that's getting a little far north for you?
No, Cranston's just on the other side of the river from us. So
Gotcha.
like Cranston's, you got to basically come out onto Stony Trail to get over. But
Gotcha.
the other ones, you can drive. Silverado, another one, super close.
Yeah, I gotcha.
All those new communities, and then like DeWinton is like 2 minutes.
Sure.
And that's outside of Calgary technically, right? So yeah, it's deep south, but Calgary's growing every day, and the community we're growing with we're moving into is growing every day, and the response from the community has been amazing. So
nice. Now you went from, student to fighter to commentary guy to coach to now gym owner. How did this come about? If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Listen. Let's be real. We know that you trained somewhere else for a little bit, or for a very long little bit. So I don't want to put you or anybody else on the spot, but obviously this is a new time in your life. A chapter has closed. Just curious. Even if we don't want to talk about the past, how come you're not doing construction? How come you decided, you know what, I should open a gym and put myself through some real bullshit?
So like I said on the first podcast that I did with you and Chris way back when, I was obviously, I was an automotive service technician for years, and I had a good job at Southland Transportation, and then I never felt like that was my true life's calling, and even when I was there, one of my favorite things to do was to teach, and when I got the opportunity to teach, I ran with it, and I loved it. And,
Clearly.
And it's been my life's passion, I guess. And like, I really feel like I found what I was put on earth to do, and that is coach and teach. And I love being part of sport. Teaching in the classroom wouldn't do the same thing. I love the physical aspect of sport, and then finding Muay Thai martial arts just if it fulfilled my life. And so when one door closes, another one opens. I was lucky enough to have some very good friends who were that helped push me in the right direction, and said, you know what, like, you deserve this and you can do this. And
is this something you've kind of known deep down for a long time, that eventually, regardless where, when, there was going to be a gym that you owned? Was that something deep down you kind of knew, or maybe dreamt? And
I always think I had this like dream of doing so. I didn't necessarily think it was possible.
When dreams become reality, buddy.
And then, I didn't, because like I've got to go through like a gym opening before, in construction, and went like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of work, and it's a lot of cash that's needed up front, and like that was way out of my means. But then when you meet people, like, I think the greatest thing about the martial arts community is you meet so many different walks of life, like people who, so I have very good friends and people who are just willing to bend over backwards to help me make this a reality. Right. And
for no reason, but just to genuinely help.
Just to help, like that,
to see you succeed.
Yeah. And
those are the right people to be around.
It's amazing. And then, like I said, the outreach from people who found out that I'm opening my own gym, it's been amazing. And I feel like I'm in such a great position right now, and I have such a great opportunity in front of me, and I absolutely love it.
I feel your calm aura, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Like, I'm super excited. Like, July's right around the corner.
It's go time, hey?
Like right now I left, and I just left construction, like to come up here.
I appreciate that, sir.
And
take a little break.
Well, I don't care for paintings, and they're in their paintings, so
perfect. So, sorry,
so,
guys.
It's oh man,
gotta do this stupid podcast.
So, I gotta go. So we're full steam ahead. It's a lot. There's a lot to be done, but we're in the home stretch now, and I'm like, it's looking really, really promising.
I guess maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you just kept it quiet long enough. But the reason I ask if this is something that's always been part of your thing is like, dude, this happened so fast. This thing that you're opening, you have a fucking app. Like,
well,
like it came to get in from my eyes. Now, Instagram doesn't tell everyone's lives, but according to Instagram, this happened yesterday.
So like, I'm lucky that one of my very good friends is been who has a lot of a business experience. I went to him and said, hey, like, this is what I would like to do. Can you think you can help me out? And he dove in like head first. And
nice.
Like at first, he was kind of just like, yeah, I'll let you do your own thing. And then he went, you know what, like, let's double down on this. Let's make this
maybe testing your commitment to it.
Yeah, let's be just awesome with everything. And then like, I'll always taking information in, right? Like 10 years I've been in this game of like working inside of a gym,
Sure.
And for 10 years I've just taken in info, lots of good info, and I've seen things that people have tried that didn't work. I've seen things that people have tried that did work.
It all goes in the mental filing cabinet.
Yeah, that people are like, oh, why is someone trying that? And then it works, right? And you're like, oh, damn, right? And then other things were like, oh, that's such a good idea. And then boom, it doesn't. It flops. So, like, and then just surrounding yourself with good people. So like I said, my friend who came on board helped me out. He's like, we're going to get this done in record time. And, he's like, he pushes hard. And
Must
like
be nice to have somebody have that confidence like you do, so you don't feel like you're on a planet by yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So like when it comes to like, yeah, we're on the App Store and you can, go on and get
Crazy,
the Victory
bro.
Thai boxing
Crazy.
app. And like, and you
I'm
can,
part of it, just so you know.
I know.
I signed up.
So I actually, I see everyone who signs up.
Yep.
You're about to get spammed from us. I'm really sorry. But
I knew I shouldn't have.
and when I say spam, we're just going to check in on you. But
It's okay. I like that. I appreciate that.
It's a part of the software that we purchased, and the app came as a part of the software we purchased, and for running the gym. But you can like communicate with your instructors on there. So if you're signed up for a class, and let's say I'm teaching, and you want to let me know, like, hey Kyle, I'm gonna be a few minutes late. You can go on the app and let me know. You don't have to like contact the gym.
Right. Don't phone, don't email. Just...
Yeah, you just go on the app, let us know.
Cool.
You can buy all your merchandise on the app, so you can buy it at home, come in, and we'll have it there waiting for you. So
how long does it take to make an app?
So, like I said, the software company we used for build, it was a part of their package when we did a sales call with them.
Is that right? Eh?
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Smart.
There are some hoops you got to jump through, especially for Apple.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that was
of course.
actually the most difficult part was actually the Apple side of things.
Sure.
But the company we used to for as our software provider, they build the app.
Nice.
And they brand it to your brand, and they take any
Nice.
artwork that you want to give
Yes.
them.
Finally, there's businesses out there that are prepackaged for this stuff.
Yeah,
eh?
yeah.
Thank God.
Like, so did I build the app? Absolutely not. Like, I basically gave them some artwork and some information they needed from the business registry in Alberta, and they do the right. Here, we need a color. Okay, this is our color palette. This is our color palette. Like,
Well, I'm jealous. I don't have an app.
so it's like I'm pretty sure there's a couple other gyms in Calgary that maybe have an app, but I don't know if they're branded to their specific gym. But
I got you.
That we did pay a little bit extra for it. I'm not gonna lie, but it was for us the cool factor of like you can have your app, and we can send you notifications if there's something coming up. We can let you know through the app, not just email.
Less and less middlemen.
Yeah. So like less time, like the more information you get out to your members, the better, right? And email,
Easy to get. Yeah.
social media, and through the app. Like, I mean, like if you
No excuse.
Yeah, if you miss that somewhere, then
We don't have your email.
yeah. So
Yeah, I hear you.
it's like it's exciting. So just having someone who is like, because I was very hesitant about the app, like especially having our own branded app, right?
Sure.
We could use the app from the software, no problem. And then my friend, he was like, no, get the
Halfway
app.
there, do it.
Just pay the extra. Let's get the app. So
Nice, man.
it worked out.
Congrats. That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah.
How'd you come up with the name? And what other names did you have rolling around, by the way?
We had a lot of different names rolling around. I put a brainstorm group together. Like Dylan was a part.
Shout out to Dylan.
My wife was a part. A couple of my other
Shout out to
friends. Yeah, a couple of my other friends were a part of like coming up with names.
What was the worst one?
I don't know. There like
Kyle's Muay Thai style gym.
Yeah. I really so there was some people who were like, oh,
can have it if you want.
Messenger Muay Thai would be great, and I was like, yeah.
Last name thing.
It's not really a me thing.
Sure.
Like so I got that one more than once. To me it doesn't bring in like community. It just basically says that I'm
My gym.
Yeah. But how did we come up with Victory? We looked around what was happening in Alberta, different names, different things. We wanted something that was strong, but not too to the death Muay Thai. Right?
Yeah, of course.
We looked around we looked at gyms across Canada and the US, and then
Trying to come up with one or stay away from them?
a bit of both.
Yeah, I got you.
Like, what is out there? Like, and there is, there's stuff, there's a Victory Promotions in Canada already. And
In our industry, that's a pretty popular word.
yeah. And, I think like Glory got bounced around for a minute, but then Glory kicked. You know, Glory is such a big deal, and
It's kind of like Madonna. It's already taken.
yeah, yeah. So, you know, there was like we wanted it to be strong, but not like.
Shout out to great grandma Madonna, by the way. Sorry. Rude. Sorry.
We wanted it to be strong, but not too aggressive, and we felt like Victory kind of was like a good middle ground, and then
Strong, positive.
yeah, you know, there were certain colors we wanted to stay away from. Like we thought that certain gyms had already established that color, especially here in Calgary. Like, you know, when you think of Team Smandage, you think
Green.
You think green, right? So
I just talked about that, as a matter of fact, a little while ago.
Yeah.
Do you know where they came up with that?
no,
Just their favorite color.
good. Like, hey,
good as reasons any.
I mean, the color of Victory is pretty much the color of my motorcycle. So
I was wondering. Yeah.
So if anyone's seen my motorcycle,
Nice.
So that's kind of where like that came from. Yeah, and we just, you know, we wanted something strong, and we threw a bunch of different names out. We wanted to represent the area of the city we were in a little bit.
Okay.
So we even looked at like Wolf Willow, and then Wolf Willow is actually a tree, so that didn't really work out very, like, it's not
so tough.
not so tough. So we move on from Wolf Willow, like, ooh, wolf, that's a cool. But then we moved on from that pretty quick, and then so we had a bunch of different names, but it took us probably a week actually to come up with Victory, and then once Victory became the name, it was like, okay, is there any other Victories in like our area, right? And in particular Canada. And no, there wasn't. And then Thai boxing, I just nothing wrong with Muay Thai. I just wanted to, something different. There's a lot of Muay Thai in Calgary, and just change it a little bit. Thai boxing, I mean.
Well, I live in that world too, man, of Google search, SEO, blah, blah, blah. And to the commoner, Muay Thai is just a mumble of letters.
Yeah. And so boxing's a little bit more,
I hear you.
everyone kind of can type in boxing near me, and, so that was kind of where the Thai boxing came.
Yep.
It's more on definitely the marketing side a little bit.
Totally makes sense.
And I seen my friend's gym out in Ottawa. He goes by Boss Muay Thai, so Yuki out. So our Boss Thai boxing.
Yep.
And so thanks Yuki for that little inspiration.
It's okay, phew, it's okay. I'm allowed to use it.
Yeah. So he used it, and I've seen it a couple other places, and I like it. It's different, and especially here in Calgary. So it kind of makes us stand out a little bit. So that's where that whole, Victory Thai boxing came from. So,
nice, man. Nice.
Yeah.
So when's opening day again?
We're hoping for July.
Like early? Right away?
First couple weeks of July.
Okay. So about a month.
So my birthday is July 14th. So expect something to be happening on July 14th.
Oh, boy.
All right. So
root beers at Kyle's gym.
Yeah. And so I don't know if our on-sign will be on, but we'll be close enough that I think everyone can come down July 14th.
Opening.
Yeah, come out. It's a Sunday, so anyone that wants to come down and have a hot dog and a hamburger on us,
Nice.
July 14th there'll be something. Now we're hoping maybe that we can get it going before then.
Okay.
It's challenging to get all your sign off from city,
All the
province.
fucking red tape, man.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a lot of red tape. So what we may be ready before, but at least we can do the barbecue in the parking lot. At least
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
none of the businesses around us are open on Sunday, and
Right. Not intruding.
yeah, we're not. Yeah, so we can.
Nice,
do
man.
that. Yeah.
What are you doing in the meantime? The gym's not open. Like, how are you still? I see you still training people. How's that?
I'm lucky enough that I have some places to train. They're kind of they're actually some of them my old COVID Hans, so
a little PTSD going back in there. No.
But at the same time, for those who were in there during the pandemic, training with me, they're excited to be back too, right? Now they were at first. Now they're getting. I can see people oh, okay.
I remember
how
this.
much longer are we going to be here? So they were having some of those same old pandemic. How much longer do you think we're going to be in here? Questions, but so I got my my old spot. So back, just working out of a garage basically. And then, I'm lucky enough to have made a name for myself a little bit as a coach. And I got asked to do the white collar boxing this time around. So I've been
Nice.
spending a lot of time on that and working that. And
They look crazy, man. I don't know. I mean, I do get it. The white collar thing, like, it's your friends and it's charity, but
Yeah.
like, but from a fight point of view, it's like, I don't understand. Like, how?
I think we get that a lot. Like,
And they're fun.
it's so much fun. Like teaching it has been a blast.
Nice.
Like the people who are doing it, their energy is amazing.
Right.
They have, like they are really into this. Like this is their life now, right? And I get it's 8 weeks, but a lot of them are training outside of what we provide too, right?
Sure.
So it's 8 weeks for like that we provide free training, and they go outside. They train at other gyms. I know a lot of them are training, Legacy. I know one guy's training with Phil Dorr, and like they're training all over the place,
Right.
and they're
They really put 8 weeks aside for this.
yeah, and like they go hard, and like and we try to make it as fair as possible.
Sure.
Like it's not like, oh, you're the two closest people in weight, you're gonna fight.
Gotcha.
Like we're looking at the whole
Right.
scheme of things.
Size,
right?
skill, cardio,
yeah.
age, physical abilities.
Yeah, and like Boxing Alberta has some like strict guidelines on age and weight and stuff like that we have to follow. They do kind of handcuff us a little bit sometimes, but because we could probably make some safer matchups if they just let us do our own thing. But I understand their side of things too, and they want to protect themselves.
Yep.
But it's for fun, air quotes. Like some of them take it very seriously, and some of them don't take it as seriously.
Sure.
But we can match those guys who don't take it as seriously against the guys who don't take it as seriously, and the guys who take it super seriously, we can match together. And we hope just to make entertaining, compelling fights, right? And they're short; they're a minute and a half.
Yep.
They're basically what we in the Muay Thai world would call a smoker.
Yep.
And they're, and like I tell all those guys, like, you're going to be the most tired you've ever been in your life. Like, it's only 4.5 minutes of work, but you're going to be exhausted.
You don't want to beg me to let you stop.
Yeah. And, and they're going to find out in 5 days. Yeah.
Oh, it's this weekend?
Saturday. Yeah.
Oh,
Saturday,
yeah. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Where?
It's the Deerfoot Inn Casino.
Okay.
So yeah, you can get your tickets, I think, at ultrawhitecollarboxing.com, I do believe.
Okay.
You can just Google ultra white collar boxing, and then Calgary will come up. So if you want to come and watch a bunch of really amateur fighters fight,
It's all right.
It's always a good time.
Money goes to cancer research anyway? No?
This time it's different charities. So
okay,
you've been able to pick your charity. Cancer research is the number one.
I just assumed.
Yeah, and it's always been cancer research before, but they've got actually a new like kind of, I think it's like an app based way of picking a charity and donating.
Wait. Like per person?
Yeah, per person. So
I buy a ticket and I choose where that money goes?
Yeah. You'll choose for that. So me, if I'm fighting, I choose a charity that I'm representing.
Oh, okay,
right?
I got you.
So if you donate to my cause, you're donating to me.
Gotcha.
So like, Wally Reyes is doing it this time. And he's raised like over 10 grand for children's cancer research.
Wow.
I think something like that.
So did you, Wally?
Like almost 10 grand or right around that mark. Like,
wow.
Yeah. So like he's like smashing that.
Nice, man.
The fundraising effort there, and it's all going to the children's cancer.
Cool. That's great.
I wish I could have the name off the top of my head. I'm sorry, Wally, because he's doing a lot for that. So. That's great,
man.
And there's guys who are raising for like all kinds of different things.
Okay, well, that's a great idea.
Like multiple sclerosis, ALS.
Sure, gives you the opportunity to put even more heart and soul into it.
Yeah, like something that's maybe closer to your heart, right?
Yeah.
Because like we're all affected by cancer, but something else might be affecting you in day-to-day life, right? So as long as a charity, I think, is approved, is like a Canadian charity. I believe it's on the, or it can be added to the list. So if
Nice.
someone's interested in doing the ultra white collar next time, just go on their site, sign yourself up, and you can raise money for your favorite charity.
Well, that's great.
It's awesome. 3 times a year in Calgary for the boxing. It's a lot of fun. It
looks fun.
Ton of fun, and getting to do it, like coach it this time, it's kept me busy, as far as coaching and keeping me sharp coaching, and
Less competitive pressure on you. Like it can be more about fun than winning.
I mean, some of them take it very seriously.
I'm sure they do.
Some of them, you think that they're going to fight Mike Tyson, and I love you guys, but other people are taking it like, like I've met some like really, really, really nice people, that are fully into this just for the charity aspect.
Cool.
And it'd be cool to get get in the ring, and get your name on a t-shirt, and
Sure.
And you get to pick your own walkout music.
And
they make it super fun, and I told all the guys, whoever comes up with the best nickname, I will give them a personal prize. So there's some good nicknames. Like I'm like going through the list, going like, oh man, this is gonna be hard. So there's some good.
Boy.
Yeah. So it's exciting. It's exciting. So that's keeping me busy.
Nice.
Yeah. So the good thing is, like, I feel like I've made pretty good reputation for myself as a coach, and organizations like Ultra White Collar reach out and say, hey, if you're free, what do you think about these times, these days a week? And I've been blessed to be able to do that.
Free till July.
Yeah, free till yeah.
So are you the only teacher at the gym?
At Victory?
Yeah.
So Dylan's going to come on.
Nice.
So Dylan Stone. So I've been training Dylan for about 6-7 years now.
Sure. Shout out to Dylan.
So Dylan's going to come on as an instructor. Tina's going to come back as and start teaching a little bit.
Nice.
Mainly our kids programs.
Yeah.
And then we got another young fella that was, he was looking for a job, and his dad's been helping me out a lot, so
Cool.
I gave him a role. And then Nicole Sariska is going to come on
Nice.
as instructor. So we just
got your staff
in that week.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Nice,
then we're going to offer a yoga program too.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, right on.
So
Do you teach that?
Yeah, absolutely not. But we hired a yoga instructor yesterday, so
Nice.
We're set up for a yoga instructor.
Beauty.
So yeah, and things are moving along. So
Nice.
yeah, yoga's a little bit different. Just something I just kind of got into. I had a client who's super into it, and he was always begging me to go. I've been training him since the pandemic as well, and then finally he just went, and it's like, you know what, this is awesome. I think this translates to fighting, to high intensity athletes so well, to do something a little bit more relaxed. And like when Mark McKinnon and I trained together, he always makes sure it was like mandatory when Mark and I trained together. It was, okay, we're stretching for 10-15 minutes after class, after we're done.
And it showed, man. His flexibility was something else.
And Mark's, it's insane.
And not just kick high, his rotation and everything. He looked loose.
Yeah,
for
always.
a big dude.
Yeah. For a guy who walks around with like 200 pounds, he's a big, he's more flexible than I am.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I always kind of laughed at him and like, oh, this stretching thing, whatever. I never stretched, I never warmed up a day in my career. Well, I'm paying for that now.
Me too.
At almost 35, it's like, oh shit, like maybe.
Remember me?
Yeah, remember that injury. So I think it's good for. So like I said, I started getting this yoga thing, and I think it's been great for my life. So let's bring it into everyone's life, and those who are helping me, everyone's on board. And thinks it's great. So yeah, so Muay Thai, yoga. We have Muay Thai 7 days a week, yoga 5 days a week. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
And are you? Let's take a look at like it's July, the end of 2024, December, January. Where would you not where do you see it? Where do you want your gym to be by then?
I think the biggest thing for me is I just want to have a good community.
Yeah.
Like obviously I want to be profitable. Like, we don't go into business without that.
Bills got to get paid.
Yeah. So profitable would be, and like I said, the amount of support we've gotten from the community already is I'm so grateful. Like,
Yeah, right on, man.
especially an area that doesn't really have Muay Thai or anything that's or anything like that close. There's a Taekwondo school in the area, mainly for kids, right?
Sure.
Nothing really for adults. And and we obviously offer kids programs too, but the support we've gotten from the area has just been amazing. And
Right on.
people like calling us and emailing us and asking. So
That was great, man.
yeah. So like obvious, and then I want to have a just a good community, like people who want to be involved and they're in the gym, and we see those same people all the time, and they're helping out with maybe they might not be competing or coaching, but they might be helping fighters get, in some way, right? Sponsorships or
Yep.
things like that. Like, so I just want to have I think like
Takes a village.
yeah. So I look at there's certain gyms we look at here in Calgary and go like, oh man, like I envy your community, right? And like so I want to get to that point. I think that's the biggest thing for me is make sure we have a strong team, strong community. And
Are you looking at building a fight team right off the bat?
well, obviously, like Dylan is still a very active. Like he wants to be, he's dealing with a little bit of injury right now.
Sure.
But
Nicole, very active.
Nicole's very active. Like whether those like
is it a priority? I guess
not a main one, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
though I know that I've got some interest from some others who have contacted me about competing, and I would love to. I would like to have a fight team.
Yeah.
Down the road, like even like Nicole and Dylan are both very heavily involved with Kieran still, right?
Sure.
And Dylan trains at Dunamis a little bit, here and there. So
Good.
one attitude I feel like I'm trying to take in this whole thing is like I give people a place to train if they want to train. If they don't want to train with me, I don't
own you.
They're so. You know what if there's only like for Dylan and Nicole, for example, if they show up, teach good classes, that's what I'm asking for, right? Like I don't need you guys to be here every day so I can hold. Like if you want to go, like Nicole loves to train at Team Smandich, right? She goes there once a week, typically to spar. They got a bunch of girls around her size.
It's just my opinion and I think we've really seen the growth of that in the last few years. Eventually, you got to get out of your own gym and you got to go spar people who are like you. You, especially now, where there's so much Muay Thai. There's somebody out there who's your size, your weight, close to your experience. Get out there and spar them.
Your age.
You might fight them, you might not.
Yeah.
It happens in boxing all the time.
All the time.
Like they spar each other. They got like hundreds of rounds together. Then they go fight.
Well, like Fury was in a part of Klitschko's camp.
Right. Exactly. They all know each other.
And then they end up fighting, for like lineal title at one point.
It is what it is.
So yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think like that's something that
at least that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I've got to like see the UK Muay Thai scene a lot more. Like I follow it very closely.
You don't even know who belongs to whose gym.
No idea. Like like you see like Haggerty, he's at with Bruce Kettle,
underground,
and then he's at Nosey, and then he's somewhere, like
Kosamoy.
Yeah, and then like these guys are always going somewhere else,
trying to get better. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, so I think it would be like it's great for something like that.
Yeah,
like,
it's great.
And like Nicole, Trevor, he's got Adam. Adam, like he's like 15.
Yeah.
He's 100 pounds, so he's great for Nicole to spar with, you know. And he's so talented. I got to spar with him on Friday, and man, the kid's so good.
Make you self-conscious about your own skills.
Yeah, I'm like, dang, he's 15. Good thing he's not in my weight category. And so it's like just like letting people go, and if they want me to coach them and corner them, then you know what, like I'll be here. And I do plan on setting up some group training for those, especially like Nicole and Dylan got a lot of experience. They've been in the community for a long time. And they train elsewhere, but like there's gonna be people who come in that they're gonna have their first fight with us, right?
I see.
And I already know some guys who've already messaged me like, hey, like like as soon as we open, can we go hard? And then maybe in the fall, I'm like, yeah, like if that's what you want to do, like so there'll be mentors for those guys, right? And then they'll take them somewhere else to train, hopefully, and then that way you get better, right? You can train like like I always remember you guys let me come up here and spar with Chris before I was going to fight Salah in the UK.
That's right.
And like Sal and Chris, similar size, you know,
Yep,
and it was very beneficial to come up and get to hang out with you guys and then get to spar someone like Chris, you know,
Yep.
like one of Canada's best, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Shout out to Chris.
yeah, even so. Yeah, so that's kind of the philosophy I'm taking
That's
on
cool,
the
man.
whole thing. I want to work with every gym in Calgary.
Preach.
Like I know we're a long way away, right? We're on separate ends of the city, but I definitely, I like that we can come up here,
Yeah, of course.
hang out. You guys can come down, hang out.
Awesome, man. Just got to bring your passports.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a long way to go.
Might have to get a helicopter ride across the city, depending on traffic. Don't try and come at 5.
Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
man. Well, that's great.
yeah.
man.
So that's
Good for
kind of yeah. So that's kind of my attitude. And then we'll anyone that wants to come train, we're open to everyone.
There you go.
Come on down. I ask that you message me, let me know. Like if you're
Yeah,
coming
maybe
for
don't just show up.
competition. Yeah, if you're coming for like competition type training, I can lead you in a bit different, like the best times and days to come. But
Right.
yeah, we're gonna be, start July. We'll be full bore and going right at it.
Nice, man. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you catch your fights last weekend? Is that curiosity?
So I caught up on them because I knew they were going to be a topic
Sure.
of conversation today. Now, even when I was catching up on them, I was kind of zoned out. If
No
I
worries.
like, they were on. I was watching them when it got exciting. I may have fast forwarded through the grappling
Sure.
stuff, but
Well, I'll tell you what then. Let me lead you on a less specific path here.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I'm going here, but I've been thinking about this the last few weeks. Am I getting bored of one championship? I might be.
you know what? Like, there's so much good Muay Thai to be watched right now, and normally, like those, I would call this like a super show, like this Prime card. Like,
Yeah. Good
like the
call.
Prime cards, I would call them super shows. And much like when I was a young UFC fan, like because that's what got me into this, like into martial arts, was watching the UFC. I never missed anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like a UFC fight night. I watched it.
Yeah.
Like I think it was on TSN back then.
That's right.
I never missed it, right?
Yeah.
I bought every pay-per-view. Excuse me. Now that like I watched, what was the last? I watched UFC 300.
Yep.
Like, and it was probably the first one I watched in 8-9 months.
Right.
Right. But I know they're doing a show every week. It feels like
That's
now,
it.
right?
Yes.
And
Sometimes two.
and I have clients and friends and people who train at the gym who are huge MMA fans, like I once was, and they keep me informed.
Sure.
Who's the up and comer? And then I go in, I can watch highlights of that
Right.
person, and then. But what I would say is, not that we just have a lot going on.
Do you think it's oversaturated?
I think it's just there's so much to watch, and like, man, like RWS is so good, so good, and like, I'm not like, I love one, and I love the Muay Thai and the little gloves. I think it's phenomenal, but there's something about Muay Thai and big gloves that is just very
Yeah.
like, so and. I'm not sure what's going on in the UK right now, but I think like everyone's trying to start a streaming channel or something.
I'm catching wind of
I'm
this.
catching what's
happening over there?
Yeah, I don't really know, but there's so much good fights in the UK. Like you got Hitman Fight League, and you got CFS, and like
Yeah.
it's
Roar.
never been so Roar. It's never been so easy to watch good production Muay Thai.
That's really it. Production for
The
me.
production value is higher than ever,
Yeah.
right? And like even when I started in the sport 10 years ago, you couldn't find a fight to watch with English commentary.
I saw you on Max Muay Thai because of it.
Right.
English commentary,
And-
good production.
Yeah, and so like, and that was like 2018.
Yeah.
That was what, 6 years ago,
Yeah.
basically, that I fought there, and like that was the only show doing English commentary
That's
at
right.
the time.
Yeah.
Now everyone's doing English commentary. everyone's got great production. And I think one championship is the reason for that.
Good call.
I think like they came and like stepped up the game, and you've seen all the best fighters in the world wanted to go there.
Yep.
Right? They made best production, best paydays. Now
They changed the scene in 1 year.
Yeah. And now you got companies like RWS or even Hitman Fight League over in the UK, Muay Thai World Cup here, you know, like we're trying to do, you know, everyone's trying just to make a bigger and better production. And it's great for Muay Thai. It's never been so easy to watch good, because to watch a Muay Thai fight, especially if you're uneducated, we'll say, like with just the Thai commentary, like Sai, like what does that mean?
A guy in all red, a guy in all blue. They kind of look the same. Their names I can't pronounce.
Something happens and you see the crowd go crazy and you're like, what just happened? Like it looked like he need him in the bum, right? You know what I mean? Like, so without the commentator there, so I think like we have so much availability to see, you know, what's out there, and the internet has made the world very small, right?
Sure has, man.
And so one championship, like, so even myself, I watch it less than I did a year ago.
Me too.
But not part of that is just like I'm busy, right? Like same as I used to watch. I never used to miss a UFC event, but then you know I start teaching in the evenings, and you know, and I want to spend time with my wife on Saturday.
Maybe you don't end up with more responsibilities in life, but you sure as shit never end up with any less.
Right. Yeah. So like, do I really got 4 hours to kill on a Saturday night to watch a UFC, or you know? So I try to watch these like super cards, is what I would call them, right? And like the one championship, when they do the super cards, even the Lumpini stuff, like a lot of them are just guys looking to get their shot on the big show. So
that's right.
They're fun to watch, and some of those fights are amazing. And if I got nothing going on Friday morning, it's free on YouTube, so I throw it on.
Sure.
But
but that is not kind of shitty to have to say that.
No, I think like
like
the
it's
fact
good.
that it's there, right?
Agreed.
It's like it's amazing. Dude, man, like Friday
Maybe I'm
morning,
just chasing the dragon.
Like Friday morning, like I'm blessed that I can watch Friday morning at 7 a.m.
Of course,
right? Like most people are at work at that time, you know, and they're getting to watch it at night if they're like a super fan, right? And I have a real problem with sports of any kind, and I'm a bit of a sports nerd.
Right.
I love all sports, but I don't want to watch anything that's already been it's already happened.
I don't want to know the result.
Formula One races, right? Love watching Formula One races, but sometimes they happen at 5 a.m. Right. So I'll get up at 7, not turn on my phone.
Yeah.
Just so I can watch that race live. Yeah. And then when it's over at 8:30, I can turn on like get all the recap of everything that's happened, like all
who fought who,
drama. So like, right, I mean, and that's for racing. So I again, the world's so small. Like we talk about this with like Major League Baseball or even the NFL. Like we think like, oh, those are big sports. Well, even 10 years ago, you couldn't watch every NFL football game on a Sunday.
That's right.
But now you can, because you can get something like NFL Red Zone, right? So I think like just with how quickly we can take in information, it just has changed the world so much.
Without a doubt.
And I'm not going to, so like the one championship fights, like if there's one I really want to watch, like who did we watch? Tuanachai Superbond, when that fight happened, like I took time out of I made a block of time on a Friday
I want to
morning.
watch that fight.
I want to watch that fight, so I made sure I watched that card. Where a lot of these one Friday morning cards, I'm like, okay, whatever. So, but I did like get caught up. On Friday, I really wanted to go to Team Smandich and help. Like they got some guys going down to Iowa, and Gabe's fighting again, so I wanted.
Oh, nice.
I wanted to go help Gabe and hang out with those guys and say hi to Trevor and let him know that we want to work with you. So so I missed the fights when they were on, but I caught up and I thought the fights were fun. And I had a good time. Rotang is my favorite fighter.
Yeah.
Like I got
okay.
like so. it's not very often I miss a Rotang fight live but I was just busy and
how'd you like that
and
fight?
Life is more important. It's a hell of a fight.
I'm glad it was in boxing gloves too, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm glad that
They're gonna play that game.
I'm glad that it's a buzzkill, like what happened, the circumstances around the fight with Rotang and his weight and all that stuff. But when Dennis was in Calgary cornering, we commented, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
And unfortunately, I didn't get to say hi to or talk to him before. But it's always he seems like such an interesting guy.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I just I was like, oh man, like he was here, he was in Calgary, and I missed him. But yeah, man, he's so he's an entertaining fighter.
No
and
kidding.
He's never in a boring fight, and Rotang's never in a boring fight. But one thing, like watching it, and I watched it with the sound off.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I do.
It's so much better way to watch the fight. Like I think obviously Rotang won, but what I take is like I felt like Rotang, his head movement was better than I typically see him.
Yeah,
I don't know if Dennis hit him early and like rocked him or what, but like he really didn't want to get touched.
It seemed like it. Yeah.
Which is like good for you, Dennis, for putting that like fear. But that being said, he still came forward and did his Rotang thing, and
Sure did.
It was still a hell of a fight.
Yep.
Super exciting.
Yep.
Super
Fun.
fight. And then the Tawanachai fight. I thought it was a good fight. I see a lot of people go, thought Joe won.
What'd you think?
So I watched the sound off. I thought Tawanachai won.
Yeah, I thought Tawanachai won as well.
I thought he won 1, 2, and 4.
Okay.
I thought Joe won 3 and 5, and that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
Like I'm no judge, as we've
Sure.
talked about, commentating all the time. But it was a super fun fight. It was a good fight. I know Tawanachai. I think commentators can play a factor in fights. I think you and I are. We're guilty of that too on different occasions.
I try not to be,
but it's impossible.
I'm getting more comfortable with it as I keep doing it.
Yeah. It's impossible not to, you see something you like, and there's always something that I like more in my criteria of Muay Thai than you like in your criteria of Muay Thai. And so I thought Tawanachai won. I said Joe's always he's never in a boring fight, or it seems like he's always in a close fight too.
Yes, yeah. A bit of in the most respectful sense, but a bit of a gatekeeper feeling. Clearly not, man. 2 championship wins, damn near.
Yeah,
But he always has that sort of feeling, is what it feels like to me.
Yeah. Well, was he the one? He was in the tournament. There was something controversial when he was in the tournament too, like a while back, the kickboxing one. I can't remember. Anyway, he's like, it's like a guy. I know he lives in the States.
Dude. Yeah.
He lives in the States full time. I'm like, what if he went to Thailand for 3 months? You know what I mean? And let's got to maybe have a tune-up fight and then go fight one of the,
that's true.
He takes
man.
big breaks between his fights
and then has big fights
and then has massive fights and he's never in a bad fight, and he always looks like he comes out unscathed. But and then Tawanachai really sounded down on himself after the fight, which can always make for it to be weird.
That's true. Yeah.
Wasn't his best performance? Yeah, no, but he, I still thought he did enough to win, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too. And it's also just something to say about some guys have an off night while the other guy has the best night of his life.
Yeah.
Just how it goes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Now I know there's always this big oil and water thing. Small gloves, 1 championship, traditional Muay Thai, whatever. I'm fucking beating that dead horse like crazy. But if you can have Muay Thai fights like that in little gloves, I'm in. That was a fucking great fight.
That was a Muay Thai fight.
Yeah, loved it. Loved it.
One thing, when I'm watching the fight, I was like, oh my God, this is the most kicks I've seen in a freaking Muay Thai fight in forever.
Yeah.
Right. And I would say the same thing about Tawanachai Super Bond.
Yes.
That was a good Muay Thai
fight
in little gloves. And again, I love Rotang. He's my favorite fighter, but he's created the mold of the little gloves Muay Thai fighter. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Pressure.
Except his fight was Superlek. Again, another beautiful fight.
Yeah.
Beautiful fight.
But you have to respect Superlek so much, right?
Yep.
He's a slick fighter, so everyone wants to be Rotang, right?
Okay. So what you said then, is that just telling then? So you said he's fighting Superlek, you got to be careful. So does that mean he knows he's can crushing? You know what I mean? Wow.
Well,
You know what I mean? Because he's certainly not careful a lot of the time.
I think that, like, here's the thing. Like, I think that a lot of us Canadians fall into too, and I do believe the Thais, because I mean, I haven't been to Thailand in 6 years almost, and it's like, oh, it's time to go back. But when I was there last time, like, oh, you good for foreigner, you know, like you hear that, right? I still think that there's probably a lot of that kind of, I don't know if prejudice is the right word, but that feeling from Thais that they still own this sport.
Sure, there's the Thai scene, and then there's everywhere else.
Everywhere else, right? And with guys like Haggerty and like Harrison and Carrillo, and like there are guys out there who are like legitimately killers, even in their weight divisions. You know what I mean? And they have like they're great fighters. And I still do believe that, you know, and until someone proves Rotang wrong, like, then this is what we're probably gonna keep getting that attitude when fighting for. Now, I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Sure. I think there was somebody who worked for One Championship who passively aggressively referenced a podcast I did talking about if traditional Muay Thai is dying. And I took that passive aggressiveness as a symbol of pride that you listen.
Right.
I might be wrong, but it's not that they score aggression, but they heavily promote it.
They do.
Right? I'm not saying it scores heavily, but it's promoted heavily. And so what I was going to say is Kyle Tiramisu Messenger over here layers deep with all this stuff. I was getting back with I'm much more cynical than you about this whole am I bored of One Championship? It just looks like the same fighter wearing different gloves with a different name. It's the same style of fight over. Now, but they're trying to get on the big show. I get it, but when you show me that shit every Friday morning, just a mash, it's fun for a while.
350,000 baht goes a long way in Thailand too.
True.
And One Championship has promoted that. Like, we're going to give you 350,000 baht to put on a banger and a $100,000 USD contract to put on a banger. Like,
I get it.
It's entertainment Muay Thai, right? And like,
why is the golden era so good? Because there was the knee fighter versus the IQ guy, the kicker versus the puncher. You know what I mean?
And that argument, they fought in the golden era too.
That's right.
Because like when I was in Thailand in 2018, like, and I got to go to Omnoy and I got to go to like Channel 5 and watch like and be in the corners of these fights, and like, you know, like it was like one round of dancing and then 3 rounds of fighting and then 1 round of dancing. And we're trying to make this a like Muay Thai will always be big in Thailand, right? But it needs to become a worldwide sport, right? We talk about this Olympic thing all the time, right?
It ain't happening.
You know what will make it happen? When it becomes a worldwide sport. And like, I'm with you. I don't necessarily think Muay Thai is going to are in the Olympics anytime soon. But you realize that host countries pick the sports that are in the Olympics.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like, think of this. Karate was in the Olympics in 2020 in Japan.
Makes sense.
Karate's not in the Olympics in Paris. Guess what Paris doesn't do?
Sure.
They don't do karate.
But
Japan does karate. So there are certain sports in the Olympics that are the host country gets to pick.
Makes sense.
Right?
Of course,
So like
demonstration sports.
But karate wasn't a demonstration. That was actually an Olympic sport. It was on the Olympic calendar.
Did you see why? I mean, it should not be. I'm assuming you saw why.
What?
Like why it's not in the Olympics anymore, I'm hoping?
Yeah.
Dude, it's brutal.
It's
the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
But
as
like,
a karate man.
Host countries get to pick what's in the Olympic, right? So obviously track and field is going to be in, right? Swimming is going to be, and what brings the most dollars too, right?
Right.
So NBC, who has coverage of the Olympics in the U.S., they're going, well, America loves swimming, so guess what the first week of coverage is?
Right.
You know what? I get bored of swimming watching the Olympics, and I love the Olympics, but I get bored of watching swimming. But track and field I love. So give me all the track and field you got, right? So those are the big ones that NBC wants. So they're going to be in the Olympics no matter what. But wrestling's no longer in the Olympics. What the hell?
Wrestling is the Olympics.
Is like, what is more? And Greco-Roman wrestling hasn't been in the Olympics for years now, and that is the like first.
That is the Olympics.
The Olympic sport,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like, because the host countries can't sell tickets to these things.
Yeah,
Right?
I get it.
So like, if you're going to build a multi-million-dollar stadium to sit 5,000 people and only
Use it for 5 days.
and only a couple athletes are going to roll in that are there to watch, like from other countries.
Yeah.
You're not putting spectators in.
Yeah.
But skateboarding is in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I love skateboarding. I think it's very, like, I grew up on Tony Hawk, right?
Sure.
And Tony Hawk Pro Skateboarder and stuff.
right.
I love like watching skateboarding, but skateboarding's for the X Games.
Yeah, right.
Wrestling's for the Olympics.
Yeah.
But now skateboarding's in the Olympics and wrestling's not.
Money.
It makes no sense. So whenever we talk about this Olympic thing in Muay Thai, we got to go like, okay, does Muay Thai have enough following?
Yeah.
It doesn't yet.
Nope. No, it doesn't.
But with things like One Championship and all these streaming platforms and money coming in, it can only grow.
Yeah.
And only make that possibility of happening sooner.
Sure.
So I'm not cynical, or I'm never going to be like, it'll never be in the Olympics. Because what if Bangkok hosts the Olympics?
If you can have equestrian, you can have Muay Thai.
Yeah. But equestrian's $1 billion sport.
True, but it's the horse that does the athleticism.
But go to Spruce Meadows.
But that's not even an athletic sport. The horse does the work.
Well,
sorry, equestrian people, but that's just how I feel coming from a Muay Thai background. chew my head off or don't.
And again, I love knowing what I like, the amount of stuff I get to know. So I one of my clients and one of my former sponsors, he actually owns a stable in Purtis.
Sure.
And I'll tell you right now, you can't tell me that his wife isn't an athlete and she's never ridden at Spruce Meadows.
Okay.
She's one of the most fit people I know. And she can she pulls around a 2,000-pound horse.
Sure.
And makes it jump 6 feet in the air.
I get it.
Or 5 feet in the air. Like, what,
But when someone says to you, describe an Olympian, I don't go, horses.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll argue.
I'm just teasing. I'm just having fun.
But go down to Spruce Meadows. Spruce Meadows has a Rolex watch, on their as their clock,
of course.
right? So like, tell me that
dudes like me should not be going to Spruce Meadows.
Right, but there's millions of dollars.
That's what I mean.
It's $1 billion industry, right? Same as yacht racing.
Yeah, of course.
Right? The boat does the work, but it's an Olympic sport. Well, no, because it's $1 billion industry.
Right.
Like,
but at some point, then it starts at horses and then boats and then spacecraft. Like, if it's just about the money, then it's not about the Olympics. Obviously.
Well, the Olympics hasn't been about the Olympics since
obviously
the new.
You don't have wrestling.
Yeah, like it became a money.
Sure,
like
sure.
Who it's sponsored. And it's the same reason
Corporate
why
dollars.
the NBA has logos on the front of their jerseys now, right? Or
NHL.
NHL has company logos on their helmets now, right?
Yeah.
Soccer or football, European football, they've had, like Man U had the Chevrolet logo plastered across their jersey for years, right? And there's always, something, right? Like, so money will always be a part of sport, and especially now because it's the only like live form. As much as you think reality TV is happening live in front of you, guess what? Sorry to burst your bubble. It's not, right?
Sure.
It's the only real reality TV there is, sport. And even that's on a 7-second delay.
Yeah. But no, you're right, man.
So there will always be people to watch sport, and advertising dollars will always go towards sport because people tune in to watch it. The Super Bowl is still the #1 watched thing in North America every year, right?
So, not that we got to become NASCAR or F1 or yacht racers, but we need more eyes if we want the dollars that we complain we don't have.
Yeah, exactly. And and if you want it to become an Olympic sport, and this is just my way I look at things, and I might be wrong, but if you want it to be Olympic sport, stop wishing for it and start getting like $1 billion industry behind you pushing it, and a media industry ideally. So
You're such a positive guy.
I think this is where One Championship really plays a big factor in this, right? Because they're $1 billion company.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That are promoting the sport. Now, what we see on One Championship is never going to become what's happens in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It will have to be. There'll be some changes, right? Obviously, the elbow pads and shit.
IFMA is clearly headed that road. They know what I mean.
They want to be the
yes,
that
proudly.
Yeah, and
that's okay.
But and I would say like, you don't need to love IFMA style Muay Thai. I personally don't.
Sure, me neither.
But you don't have to hate it either.
Yep.
And you know what? If I
Talked
had
about that last podcast.
if Dylan wants to come and says, "Hey Kyle, like, you know, like I know Ramil has a lot to do with the Canadian IFMA team, right?
Yep.
I know Ramil, you know, I feel
Awesome
like fairly
Great
well. And if Ramil said, "Hey Kyle, I think Kyle or Dylan would be a great opportunity," I'm not going to say Dylan like don't go take that opportunity. To go experience that, right? Like how cool would it have been to go to Greece?
Right.
Like that looked beautiful.
Yeah. Well, and me and Robin on the last, shout out to Robin on the last podcast, talked about that. Maybe there's the IFMA way, maybe there's the world traditional way, maybe there's the 4-ounce glove way. Just support all of it.
And like that's what I would say is like, do I like certain styles better? Absolutely.
Of course.
But like same as like support every gym in Calgary. Like support every type of Muay Thai. And I really hope that, that maybe one day Muay Thai, I think like if Bangkok got the Olympics, then hey, Muay Thai will be there. But
sure.
We got to get Bangkok to get the Olympics. I don't know if that will happen, but
I admit when I picture what Muay Thai would look like in the Olympics, it looks like last week when I was watching on YouTube the IFMA. Like that to me is what it would look like.
Yeah, but that's what boxing looks like in the Olympics too.
Well, exactly.
Watch boxing in the Olympics, right? Yep. It's not the boxing you watch.
Yeah, professional boxing.
Professional, it's not. It's totally different, right? Yep. Like, Floyd Mayweather famously has his last loss at the Olympics, right?
That's right.
Like, so like, it's you say what you want about Floyd. He's the greatest boxer of our generation, right? Like what, he died. You know what? He's the greatest of our generation.
Sure.
So, like he lost at the Olympics because the style, the game, it's totally different.
Yeah, for sure.
And so just love Muay Thai.
There you go, man.
That's what I would say.
Gotcha. Yeah. I don't want to take up too much more of your time here. I know you got some more building to do now that they're finishing up painting.
But I love. No, I don't want to go painting. I'm painting all day. Don't.
Hey, what do you think of? Did you hear about this whole Liam Harrison thing? It kind of, from what I understand, got cleared up, but
yeah.
Misunderstanding. Whoops.
Yeah, man, that's a hard one.
Sure.
Like it's a very hard one.
But to be honest, I'm happy there's a conclusion to it where
Yeah.
But I guess here's so I guess what I'm leading to. So now that leads Liam to fight Saeksan next, and I know there's a fan of the show. You know who you are, who absolutely is like that. That fight should not happen. Under no circumstances should that old man get punished by Liam Harrison. It's gonna be detrimental to his health. Just kind of curious, how do you feel about that fight?
He's been in there. I don't. Just because Saeksan had a couple bad outings doesn't mean like he's taken a good break this time too. It feels like
that's true.
It's like
he got pretty pieced up his last one.
Yeah, he did. But like maybe it's just some time. Like man, like you know what? Like one thing I always say about fighters is we never have an off season, right? And sometimes it's good to have an off season.
Rest is just as much a part of training as training.
Like it's. Like we're always in the gym grinding and going hard as we can, even like
eating for performance, running for performance, going to bed for performance, showering for performance.
For 3 or 4 times a year. And Saeksan doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So just imagine the abuse and beating he was a part of right now. Like, have we seen, is Liam, I think Liam said it on your podcast when he was on, is like, he's past his prime, like as well.
Yep.
I think this is a great fight for the fans.
You think so?
Yeah. And again, it goes back to the entertainment part too, right? Like, they're probably going to get a good bonus.
Sure. And they both want this fight.
And they're watching styles. This should be a banger. And guess what? Like 50,000 American goes a long way in Thailand.
Yep.
Right. So, and you know what? And Liam, I'm sure would love 50,000 American. Like, it doesn't go as far in the UK as it goes in Thailand, but I'm sure he would love that.
Thicken up that pocket.
So, like, man, you shouldn't. I'm also of the belief is like we shouldn't tell people when they shouldn't fight or stop competing, and that goes for any sport, right? Like,
yes.
We can say like,
but I can choose when I can stop supporting.
And but as a fan, you get to have that opportunity.
That's right.
You're
that's
a fan.
My choice.
You're a fan. You're no longer.
But yeah, you have no right.
You have no right to tell to message somebody and say like you're a washed up bum, right? Like I don't want to hear that. Like,
sure.
And and I'm sure they can't, like, they're not reading every comment, but if you get
They already know where they stand.
Yeah,
They
like
know.
these guys know. They're not like. I don't like. I hope that if Saeksan is actually really rattled from that last fight. If he's really, really, really rattled, like I'm hope that someone's protecting him. But at the same time, he's a grown-ass adult. He makes his own decisions.
Sure, he wants to feed his family with a nice paycheck.
If he wants to fight, he gets he gets to fight. Like
Sure.
no one told Yager he had to stop playing. You know what I mean?
The guy probably still playing.
He is playing in the Czech league. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
He's in his 50s and he's still playing professional hockey.
Crazy.
If you love it,
Who is anyone
who
to
am
tell
I
you to
to
stop?
say? Yeah,
I hear you. I hear you.
if this is what no one told me to stop, right? Like no one told me to stop. That was I made that decision on me, and no one even hinted towards it until I made that decision on my own, right?
I could see where it gets sticky when now it's affecting things like your family.
Yeah.
Are you, hiding your own Easter eggs because you don't have any more brain cells? Can you earn a living anymore? This is deep, bruh. This is deep. I guess my question is, who do you see winning?
I think it's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah,
I do.
Liam fucking Harrison for sure.
I love Liam. I hope I hope the fight happens.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. They're saying December, right?
December or was it September?
Okay, whatever.
On the Denver show.
I'm not
Super
sure.
like Haggerty. Yeah,
I'm not sure. Well, anyway, it's one of those embers, right?
Yeah.
Whenever it happens, it's still it's a little bit ways away. There's a lot can go on between now and then, and I'm not gonna say I'm not in Saeksan's camp, and I'm not in Haggerty's camp. So what do I know?
Right? So you're staying neutral, hey? Stay in Switzerland.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
I mean,
okay. Liam Harrison. That's the answer. Liam Harrison.
You're biased.
Little biased.
You're biased because he was on the show.
Episode 100, no big deal. Now, how about RW West? Is there anybody, or just in general, who out there is fighting right now that has your eye? Just out of curiosity.
Honestly, I've been very focused on what's going on in my life.
My wife, that piece of wood over there, not cutting my finger off on the saw.
Yeah,
any names that hey, I'm not saying anybody you have to know their daughter's name or nothing, but
no,
for example, Kunsuklek in RWS.
Yeah,
have you seen that little fella?
No. He's the young kid.
Yeah, 40 something win streak.
Jeez. Yeah, he's
the fucking
amazing.
best fight I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I'm not even lying.
Yeah,
amazing.
I feel like RWS is something I haven't tapped into enough. I've watched maybe one or two shows.
It's for me.
But there's a lot of guys who are Yothin FA groups. It's over there, and I love him. I used to love him back. I know that he's yeah. There's a lot of real guys who
Jodvica.
Yeah, I grew up, or I was watching. They're probably younger than me, but I was watching when I was in Thailand,
right, in the thick of it.
In the thick of it, when I was, at my, I want to emulate that or do that. So there's a lot of guys over there doing at RWS who are come back for that, for the RWS stuff. Right?
Yeah.
So, but up and comers, I'm kind of out of it. I love watching Thais, but
how around here? What about around here? Our neck of the woods. Who's got your eye?
Man, I can't wait. I think Duvall has come a long way in a short period of time.
Yep.
From where I remember first seeing Duvall back in 2018, he fought on the same show as I did.
ECO?
No, on Medicine Hat card.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
Fist of Fury.
Yep.
And how far he's come, and I know, every time I get to talk to Duvall, I'm I love your energy.
Yeah, great dude.
I felt that way one time.
You know what I love about him? Sorry to interrupt. Also, is I talk to him a lot, and after every fight, he's always like, "Fuck, that's not me. I can do better."
Oh yeah,
Fuck,
he wants to do better. Yeah, and then so Duvall, as far as pros go, Hungary, Adam from Trevor from Smandich.
Oh yeah,
young kid, really skilled. Kobe Carr, obviously.
Dude, get that kid a fight,
man. I tried to matchmake him for 2 years, I feel and man, that kid's just, he's on another level.
Let him fight an adult, for God's sakes. He doesn't have a choice.
He's so young too.
Yeah.
He's so good and so big and so strong for like such a young guy.
I hate to call you out, Aiden. I love you, buddy, but we had a smoker and one of my guys who's got a lot of, I understand it's karate experience, but he's got a couple ring fights. He did and he weighed about 10 pounds heavier than Kobe and did a smoker. Kobe beat the absolute shit out of him.
Man, the kid, like, he's like, Derek's created a monster up there.
Oh, he's a monster.
And
a nice dude. Shout out to you guys, man. You and your family as well, Mr. Carr.
His dad,
great dude.
Sporting the new gym already too. So
nice.
He's a great fighter. Who else? Young. I try
like
to
Nicole, obviously.
Nicole. Like I guess I get to see Nicole all the time. So,
right.
Nicole and Dylan. Obviously, I think Dylan's got a big year. Like it's been a slow half of this year, but going to Thailand and getting to compete at WBC Worlds was huge for him. And I think he's brought a lot home from that.
Nice.
And so I'm very excited to see
just growth as a man, even outside of Muay Thai. Get out of your comfort zone. Not your country. You don't know shit.
Yeah, and we're talking about a guy who's never really traveled in his life.
Oh,
either,
great,
right?
man. That's
so
great.
to go and to do the whole Thailand thing was huge for him, and he finished third, which is like respectable. Like on a world stage, first time.
Fuck yeah, man. Good on you.
Good for him. So so I'm there's lots of guys like who are in the Calgary scene, and there's some guys out in Toronto. Grace, who just fought at a Yuki's gym.
Ooh-wee.
Firecracker, turned 18, so first time fighting adults.
And Ocean's no walk in the park, man.
Yeah, and then you got the Roboloff kids out of
Romel's crew over there.
Romel's crew. Like because I spend so much time like matchmaking for juniors, I tend to see like who's coming up.
Sure. Yeah, that's great, man.
That's kind of where, if I guess anyone on the Canadian scene, that's who I'm looking at. So
hey, real quick, I heard. I don't know if you can confirm or deny. I just heard. I don't know anything, but is the Muay Thai World Cup the November show happening in Ontario?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, I just heard somebody bring that to my attention.
I have no idea. Like, I know that I'm married to one half of Muay Thai World Cup, but she does keep her cards pretty close to the chest on that. So, same as I try to keep the gym stuff, it just makes for us a little bit more amicably at home.
Put on some tight red undies and see if you can get some answers for us, man. Do a little shake.
Butter
up a little.
I don't know exactly.
I just wasn't sure.
If it is in Ontario, I mean, that's like, it's gonna be awesome. I hope to get out there to see it.
I heard two people mention it, and I was like, I actually have no idea.
But I also love having it in Calgary because it's in my backyard, and I never wanna. I don't want it to ever go away.
I like sleeping in my own bed.
Yeah, well, and I love Muay Thai World Cup.
Of course.
So I don't ever want it to go away. I think we're probably the highest production show in North America for Muay Thai. Mm-hmm. So I don't want it to stop.
Yep, for sure. Speaking of which, man, hit me up with before we're out of here. Give me your top three. Doesn't have to be like dead exact moments, but what are the top three things that pop into your mind when you think of sitting down and commentating fights? Because the reality is you've been doing this just as pretty much as long as I have.
Yeah, you've obviously had a little bit more time in there, but first one like Peacock's win, like
the tournament
win, like when he like. I know there's a beautiful picture of him on that table, like
my table, on
your table, on that table, and like that is a moment that I think will stand out forever.
Yeah.
And then I think Appy Sit versus Abdu, what a banger that was,
dude. That was something, eh?
Oh my god,
good call.
That was such a to call that fight too. Like that was so much fun.
That's probably the best, cleanest Muay Thai fight I've seen with my eyes in Canada.
Oh man, amazing scrap. And then, you know what? Like, unfortunately, I was on the losing end of it. But like the first Muay Thai World Cup and Cody winning
Sutina Cup,
and that headdress, and like it just like that's where World Cup belongs.
Good call
on the nation.
Yes,
and the Sutina Nation is like great host.
Yes,
and to have another Sutina Cup would be amazing. And like. Every time I see Brad post a picture in the gym and that headdress is on the wall, I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man.
I hate you, Cody. I hate you.
and a quick moment to say thank you to the Sutina for... Yeah. It wouldn't have happened without them, and it's beautiful out there, man.
It is a gorgeous part.
It's perfect.
Like, I've had the privilege to like go hike a little bit of it, and we don't even know what's out there.
Nice, hey?
And
Beautiful.
Zach Minimus gave me
Shout out to
opportunity
Zach, friend of the show.
to go and hike his property with him, and it's like, oh my god, like this is amazing.
Yeah, man.
Like, and this is
Beautiful.
like, and it's right next to Calgary.
Having
I know
fights.
it's hard to get out there, but if you ever get opportunity to get out there, go check out that valley and see what it's all about. So,
Nice.
gorgeous area.
Well, listen, man, anything before we're out of here?
First, I would like to, thank everyone who's been along on this journey with me. It's been a long road, and I'm very excited for the future and what's coming.
Nice.
I will always thank my head coach, everything he did for me. So thank you, Francois, for everything.
Shout out to Francois.
And then the guys who are helping me out with the new location. I got to thank Bill at Official Plumbing and Heating. If you need any plumbing work done or anything, hit up Bill. They're on call 24 hours at Official, so go talk to them. Miguel and Dave, you guys know what you're done for me. And then my biggest shout out has to go to Chris. Without you, none of this would happen. Really, just help me not only as a friend, but a mentor and, getting this thing going. So those guys are huge, obviously my wife. But those four guys have been such a big part of this, making victory a reality that without them, it wouldn't be possible. That's straight how it goes.
So where can we find Victory and all this good stuff on the social media?
You can find us at Victory Thaiboxing and Fitness on Instagram and on Facebook. You can go on our website, victorythaiboxing.ca. You can find us on the App Store as well. So
download the app.
Victory Thai Boxing on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store.
App Store. Yeah.
Apple App Store. And swing by the gym. Like I said, July 14th, we'll definitely have something going on. Hopefully before then. So. If you're ever, especially if you live in the South, you want to come by. I know, a couple fighters have messaged saying, "Hey, I want to come by, check it out." Of course, everyone's welcome. Just come, smash some pads or, just have fun with us.
Crush a hot dog.
Yeah, crush it. Yeah. We're hopefully we make this like a little bit of an event. And it's gonna be fun.
Nice.
It's gonna be fun. I'm very excited for this summer and the future, and
there you go, man.
Bringing a team, having the red and black, showing up at different fight events real soon. So yeah, it's exciting.
Nice, man. Nice. Well, there you go, guys. Bad dude starting a badass gym. Make sure you support him. Get out there, download the app, be part of it. Another premier gym in Calgary. I'm excited that you're doing this, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jay.
Always, buddy. Always. Let's next time we have another commentary thing or another fight card. Let's make it happen again, man.
Yeah, of course. I love being on the Shout Out podcast.
Yes.
I gotta beat Kieran for most of that times on.
I think he's got one more than you at this moment.
I'm at 5. I think he might be ahead of me.
I think he might be 5 too. I'll take a look.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right.
Battle of the bald heads. Who's it gonna be? All right, guys. All right. Thanks very much. We'll talk soon. Peace.